have great respect for each
Oscar,
other.
man, I heard you.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? Man, you mentioned why you see why David is favored in this fight, but obviously you're going with your man. Just explain it to us again. Why you see David as probably the favorite, but why your guys still take it so against him?
Yeah, no, look, it's styles make fights, obviously, and I've watched many Benavidez fights. I've watched many Zurdo fights. Obviously, I promote them, but Benavidez throws a lot of punches. Doesn't throw everything with power, and he doesn't really have a good chin. Okay, I mean, Zurdo, on the other hand, takes his time. He's very calculated, but every punch he throws, it's hard. It's got bad intention. All it takes is one exchange when Benavidez is throwing punches and bunches. All it takes is one. That's all it takes, and it can change the fight. So I'm gonna go with Benavidez by a haymaker.
You went to Washington D.C. man. You didn't really do a clapback, but you said there was clearly some kind of things going on, like behind the scenes. You felt like kind of ambushed, I believe you said. Well, why was that? What could you tell us about what experience?
Well, look, I've been to the Senate a few times, but this time felt like walking into a buzzsaw. It really did. I walked in and I already felt defeated. So I believe it was already premeditated. I mean, the questions that they were asking, I was like, wait, these are questions that are benefiting them, and they have the answers all prepared. But more importantly, there were a couple of senators there. I don't know who they were. A couple of senators there. They were asking Nick Khan, "Hey, Nick Khan, can you bring the UFC or can you bring the WWE to my hometown? It'll be great for all the fans." I'm like, wait. I mean, this is like politics to the umph degrees. This is like, I couldn't understand what was going on. But look, we made our case. We do have a few senators that are in our corner that are very optimistic that we can help change a few things in the Ali Act that will stay put, that will protect the fighter. But this was already decided. It's very unfortunate, but it was already decided. They are going to go through with it, I believe. And look, fighters have a choice. Fighters have a choice. You want to go with Zuffa, where there's a lot of holes in that cheese, let me tell you. A lot of holes. Or you want to stay on this side and be protected by the Muhammad Ali Act the way it is in place.
Dana White and Eddie Hearn go back and forth about fighting themselves, but they never mention Oscar De La Hoya in that conversation, man.
Obviously, because I'll kick their ass. I mean, there's no ifs or buts. I mean, they know who their daddy is. Come on.
Revival Act or something else instead of, keeping the Muhammad Act?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Do you think they should change it to something else, the name of the Muhammad Revival Act, instead of using Ali's name?
Me and Nico Walsh went to the Senate, and Nico mentioned himself, if this Ali Act is going to be changed, I don't want my grandfather's name on it. I respect him. I respect him for saying that. I believe that there can maybe be a happy medium where we can keep the Muhammad Ali Act in place and enhance it to protect the fighters even more. But their decision is made. The Senate's decision's already made. TK already did their lobbying. They're convinced it's gonna pass. I'm convinced it's gonna pass. But fighters now have a choice. They have a choice to go across the street, or they have a choice to stay in boxing where they'll be protected.
Hey Oscar, what's this PBC and Golden Boy collaboration? I talked to him in Austin, and he was very complimentary and trying to push towards the WBA. Tank Davis fight.
Yeah.
Is there real motion going on between Austin and Tank Davis? So can you give us an update?
There will be real talks happening very soon. If kid Austin wants to go after Tank next, then me as a promoter is what I have to do and get him, right? As a promoter, I still feel that I would give him one more fight and then go after Tank. But if he wants it right away, let's go. Let's go. It wouldn't be the right decision in my eyes, but if the father and the kid want it, then that's what I'll have to push for. I'm not sure exactly what position or what Tank Davis is doing, but I did hear he does want to fight third quarter of this year.
So like July, what you were telling me?
September, October.
Also, what's Virgil Ortiz? You guys have an arbitration day coming up. You and Virgil have an arbitration day coming up. And if it does go your way, how do you kind of repair the relationship to continue out the contract, continue out fighting?
Look, we're having the great thing about Virgil and I now is that we have conversations now between our teams. It's not with the lawyers. You know, we're spending a lot of lawyer fees, money on lawyers, this, that. We're having a civil conversation now, so I'm very optimistic that we can work things out. We already won the first time around. The judge favored us, so I'm very positive the judge will favor us once again when that happens. But the fact is, we are having conversations. Look, and I want Virgil to fight. That's his livelihood. That's his craft. That's what he does best. And me as a fighter and promoter, I want him to be up in the ring. So we're having dialogue, and I can't wait to get a date for Virgil and get his career back on track.